Good afternoon, everyone, and we'd like to welcome you to the City Council meeting of April the 19th. At this time, I'd ask everyone to stand for the invocation given by Mr. Jones and remain standing for the pledge given by Mr. Chapman.
Lord Jesus, we come to you with humble hearts and bowed heads, asking you to give us the mindset to make informed decisions, honest decisions, and help us move to grow forward. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. I'll now call this meeting to order, beginning with confirmation or amendment to the agenda order. I will call on our Vice President, Lynn Brown.
To make a motion that we confirm the agenda in the agenda order and delete item 17 in the matter of the ratification of land conveyance.
Second. We have a motion by Lynn Brown, a second by Travis Beard. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you very much. We'll now go to the proclamations, recognitions, and reports agenda, beginning with proclamations. And at this time, we have none. Recognition of Girl/Boy Scouts, and we have none. Employee recognitions, we also have none. Public recognitions, and tonight I'd like to ask, we had all of our city council, our mayor, Don Lewis, a bunch of the leaders, department heads went to Oklahoma City last week. So I would like to call on each one and give just one little point or so that you found out on your trip. And I'll begin with Ms. Nettie Davis.
Been put on the spot, but it was just a great and enjoyable trip. I didn't want to go to Oklahoma, said it, and we got a chance to get a lot of good ideas to possibly bring back to Tupelo and implement. It's a beautiful country. We found out they have some of the same type of problems that we experience in our city. So we got a lot of good ideas, but I was glad to get back home after this time.
Thank you, Ms. Nettie. Travis?
I was glad to see, really to reaffirm what we're doing here in Tupelo, similar to what they're doing in Oklahoma, developing downtown, getting some green space out, working with some of the same problems with streets, and they had a system of getting some finances that we may not have, but give us some ideas that might work here.
Thank you, Travis. Ms. Rosie?
I like the unity. The city was beautiful. They incorporated every part of the city in order to make the city just beautiful. I didn't have any questions, needless to say. So I really enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the trip. Very good.
Thank you, Ms. Rosie. Janet?
Well, the thing that struck me was that they did a really good job providing both the revenue-producing venues and quality-of-life venues. I thought that was really good. They had an emphasis every 4 years. They set forth 4 to 5 big projects they wanted to accomplish and finish, and they did that. And they didn't start another one, so they had money for the next group. So financially, they were very stable.
Thank you, Janet. Janet?
Yeah, I agree with what Janet, that was some of the points I was going to make. I thought fiscally they were very responsible as far as their, everything was paid for before they broke ground, which I thought was impressive. The other thing I thought was the quality of life, from the parks that they had some impressive parks, sidewalks, green space, a lot of outdoor activities that, I think bring a lot of people into their community. And then, like Rosie mentioned, the unity. I thought that all the departments there, it was really cool to see how they all would work together to achieve the same goal. And I thought that was kind of a neat thing to see, especially a city of that size, to be able to do that. So,
Thank you. I think I'd be remiss. They left us. There were only 2 councilmen left. So I'd like to call on them, Brian, to say how the city did while they were gone.
But we were in good shape, Buddy and I had it taken care of, so.
You have to take care of, appreciate it.
You weren't even there,
Buddy had it taken out.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna get the opportunity to do, something special before we go on to the next item? I know we went over the, visitation, but I want to mention something locally.
Yes, ma'am. You
Can
can
I
go.
do it now?
Yes, absolutely.
I just want to invite everybody to our community farm festival that we're having down at Country Park. This is a festival that we have been having for 15 years, and the community and the police and downtown Main Street have come together to collaborate and have an excellent event. And all of this is for the purpose of building a better relationship between the community and the community and the police. And I have a flyer here. We have about 8 blues bands that will be performing, and we will have a parade at 12 o'clock, and the event will start at 1 o'clock. And bring your chairs and come down and have a great day. I think the weather's going to be beautiful, and we need full participation from the entire community on this. And then I would like to recognize Mitchell. Mr. and Mrs. Mitchell Gasaway, they received the beautification award for a very beautiful yard in the community. So they have a sign that has been placed there by Catherine McGray to oversee the beautification. I'd like to congratulate them for a beautiful yard on Jackson Street.
Very good. Travis, you have any other?
I have one. Lynn? Rosie? Yeah?
Yeah, I was gonna recognize the group, I don't know if y'all noticed, there's a few high school girls in the back of the room tonight, so I just would like to get some recognition. This is our Tupelo High School show choir department, headed by Danielle Ratliff, which is in the center aisle there, which does an incredible job with these girls. I'm a little biased, my daughter Olivia Cates in this group, but just to kind of highlight a few things, the Synergy this year finished a historic season, and just want to recognize them for the first time in the existence. They finished undefeated against some of the best groups in the country. Not only were they the grand champions of their division at each competition, but they also swept many awards, such as they were swept best vocals, best show design, best crew, best dad crew. I didn't say that in here. How to add that. Consistently overreached their division by placing in the top 3 of all groups wherever they went. A feat for a single gender group. Their hard work, both on and off the stage, helped them represent their department, school, and the city exceedingly well at a state, regional, and a national level. So, just want to give recognition. There's a big group of girls here, and to see them work together and accomplish what they were able to accomplish is really something Tupelo should be proud of. So, if you ask to give them a round of applause.
I hope the TV gets a shot of y'all. This is one of the best looking crowds, if not the best looking crowd. I appreciate that. So can you do anything a cappella?
Y'all have something?
Impromptu.
Impromptu?
That sounds much better without me.
dreamt last night of a sign that read, the end of love. I remember thinking, even in my dream, that a song. We were a family pulled from the flood. You tore the floorboards out and let the river rush in, wash away, wash away, raging dark. Oh, that summer in New York. Was it so far to fall? But it didn't hurt at all. Love away. Love, let it wash away, wash away. Love, let it wash away, wash away. Wash away, wash away. You're reaching in the dark. Summer in New York. Summer in New York. Was it so far to fall? Was it so far to fall that it didn't hurt at all? Let it wash away, wash away.
That was absolutely awesome. Mary, that's gonna be hard to follow. So now we're into the mayor's remarks.
Thank y'all.
Well, I will follow that, but not myself. Everybody went around on the Oklahoma City trip. What I got out of it, boy, how clean it was. Like, everywhere you went, it was just so clean. The park is huge and green. It's just a special town, and they went through, I was saying that a lot of these cities go through revitalization. They've got a mechanism for funding that we don't have yet, so maybe we can push a legislature to look at that, maybe get a pilot program for that. So I do want to recognize, as everyone knows, we've been working on our RAISE grant for the railroad projects. RAISE stands for Rebuilding American Infrastructure with Sustainability Equity. I want to especially recognize our city engineer, Dennis Bonds, and our grant writer, Abby Christian. With all their other duties for the city of Tupelo, they have been working Saturday and Sunday to get this grant in. They turned it in last Thursday. Also want to recognize Renee Newman of Third Floor. Allie Randall, the CVB, she did the cover. Also Neil McCoy, CVB, Mike Claiborne, Create, David Runbarger, CDL, Dennis Edgar with North Mississippi Medical Center Emergency Services, Lucia Randall, Downtown Main Street Association, Craig Rasmussen with BNSF Railroad, all of them for their recommendation letters and how they can help us get this grant, and also Senator Roger Wicker and Congressman Trent Kelly. Everybody was instrumental in getting this in. We'll know hopefully around August, if we get that grant, and maybe we can move forward with some engineering work. So I just wanted to recognize all of those for their hard work, and we're truly fortunate to have those people working in our, that's it.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, we'll close the regular meeting, open the public agenda, beginning with public hearings. Is there anyone here to speak on public hearings for demolition? There is none. We have no appeals. We'll now go into citizens hearing. And the first gentleman I'd like to introduce, everybody knows as Boz. Boz, if you would come forward, please. Your name, your address, and you have from 5-6 minutes or so.
Honor that is, I want to first off say thank you for asking the young ladies to sing. Wow, that just goes to show you Tupelo. I mean, come on, great. This is really just a pep talk for the community. And so, thank you for this time. Honored Mayor, council members, and attendees, I consider this a community pep talk. What I'm about to address is easy to say and at times not so easy to do, but it's real. It's about a commitment to an idea that unity is better than division, harmony better than discord, agreement better than quarrels. Though we all come from varying backgrounds, we all share similar burdens and goals. May grace and patience be our guide as we work together in thoughtful, kind, and considerate ways. Cooperation, civility, community. The 3 C's of positive, progressive achievement. Consensus building is challenging work and many times requires cooperation to reach agreement. Winston Churchill once said, "Courage is the first quality, for it guarantees all others." In a representative democracy, elected representatives and appointed officials work to improve physical infrastructure and economic well-being of the communities they represent. Cooperation, civility, and consensus are vital to achieving noteworthy goals. As each endeavor, courtesy, cooperation, and civility are essential. When pursued, they establish foundations. Foundations that are building blocks for achievement, where all things are possible. Where people can find harmonious harbor, a reason to collectively participate in purposeful shared visions, facilitating the hopes, dreams, and aspirations all strive to achieve. This is possible when, as a collective partnership of public, business, and community, we listen, consider, and support each other. City officials working hand in hand with all departments diligently striving to fulfill their tasks, maintaining our streets, utilities, parks, and personal safety. All aspects that make Tupelo the shining example we all are proud to call home. There are many examples where this spirit of collegiality was employed with openness, purpose, and cooperation, achieving positive results and wonderful outcomes. One of the best representations of this cooperative spirit was how the 2% Tourism Fund came to be. Many years ago, some of you might remember, the downtown mall was floundering, the fairgrounds were dilapidated, and City Hall was not adequate for the needs of our growing city. A group of forward-thinking officials and business leaders, with the help of state representatives and the cooperation from hotels and restaurant owners, devised a solution leading to the establishment of a tourism tax to fund these and other public concerns. Once the resources became available, the establishment of the Tupelo Convention and Visitors Bureau was possible. One of the first mandates was to oversee the mall's transition, eventually becoming Bangor South Arena and the Conference Convention Center. Another local cooperative example where Tupelo citizens, with leadership by this council, has worked together is the Major Thoroughfare Initiative, bringing funding to necessary and essential repairs to streets and highways. Also, there have been many votes to expand school millage rates for the benefit of our children's education. The generosity of one private citizen, whose commitment to education, along with council support, donated land that led to the building where our current Tupelo High School resides. I also think it useful to remember another fine citizen of Tupelo whose love for and dedication to the memory of her dear deceased friend led to a remarkable accomplishment. With the cooperation and support from public and private entities, all joining together, they built the Elvis Presley Memorial Birthplace. Where would we be without this amazing homage to a hometown hero? The Tupelo Aquatic Center and Vietnam War Memorial is another fine example of what a cooperative public-private community spirit can achieve. Tupelo is fortunate to be the home of CDF and CREATE, two fine examples of private-public initiatives who promote consensus building that lead to many noteworthy and positive outcomes for our community and surrounding communities throughout Mississippi and beyond. And let's not forget all the positive effects the Downtown Tupelo Main Street Association has fostered, including the current alley renovations and our historic downtown area. Many photographers find picturesque settings and photographic subjects all throughout the year. Wall murals, shops, statues, children playing, people walking together or with their pets. A real Norman Rockwell view of a 21st century all-American city. Tupelo is alive. It is a positive community with an ongoing legacy of achievement. It is now a new administration's task to assume the mantle of leadership. As you individually and collectively work the tasks at hand, may all find harmonious harbor employing the 3 C's of positive progressive achievement: cooperation, civility, community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Bob. At this time, I'd like to call on Miss Jane Myers, if you would. Name, address, and you have 5 minutes, ma'am.
My name is Jane Myers, 2106 President Avenue, Tupelo. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak. My concern is in regard to the illegal fireworks being shot inside the city and the extent in which they're being shot, mostly on major holidays. For the last several years, on July 4th and New Year's Eve, I've called a non-emergency 911 number to request an officer come to my neighborhood and try to control the firework activity. As soon as they came, but the fireworks never stopped. Last July 4th, I called 911 at midnight. A young officer came to my home. He stood out in my yard, and he was amazed at the activity that was still going on at midnight. He basically told me the police department was not equipped to handle all the calls they had received about fireworks. So that let me know that I was not the only person that had called about them that night. He actually didn't even know there was an ordinance against fireworks. In my neighborhood, they usually start around 5 or 5:30 in the afternoons and go well past midnight. They're massive, they vibrate the house, and they are non-stop. Fireworks can be health hazards. They can start fires, they scare animals, they scare some people, especially those with any type of mental illness like dementia, PTSD, and autism. I personally have a dog that gets severe anxiety when they're being shot, to the point that she has injured herself and destroyed things. My husband, who is now deceased, had dementia, and it really made for a rough night for us when they were being shot for hours. I currently have a neighbor who suffers with PTSD, and I can't begin to tell you the effect it has on him. A few years ago, on July the 4th, one of my neighbors was shooting, and they caught our backyard on fire. Had we not been home, I'm afraid our house would have burned. I don't know whose insurance would have been responsible for taking care of that. Hearing in many animals is much more sensitive than it is in humans, so explosions are not only disturbing to them, but can cause irreversible damage to their hearing. Not to mention the number of animals that go missing during this time because they just feel a need to escape all the noise. I understand that fireworks can be entertaining. I simply love the city's display every year. But with someone living with PTSD, they can trigger serious health consequences. Tupelo has a fire code which does not permit the sale, possession, storage, or use of fireworks in the city. A portion of that code reads, except as otherwise provided in the section, it shall be unlawful for any person to transport, manufacture, assemble, store, sell, offer or display for sale, or to buy, use, possess, ignite, or explode any firecracker, torpedo, skyrocket, sparkler, or other substance or device that contains any explosive or flammable compound or substance that is intended or commonly known as fireworks, and which explodes, rises into the air, or travels laterally, fires projectiles, or discharges sparks into the air. The code only allows public display provided the displayer has applied for and been granted a permit and proves they have $1 million in insurance. I really doubt any of the residents who are violating the ordinance have applied for and been issued a permit, and if they have, I certainly hope it's not been for an 8-hour non-stop period. The city of Tupelo already has an ordinance in place. I would just ask that you try to educate the citizens and enforce it. Mr. Logan stated it's considered a violation of general city ordinance, and the consequence of violating it is a maximum $1,000 fine and 6 months in jail. I realize the Tupelo Police Department has priorities, especially on major holidays when people are drinking as they celebrate. So they don't need to be bombarded with calls to control illegal fireworks. Maybe you can start with educating people. Remind them that fireworks are not allowed inside the city of Tupelo, and there will be consequences if they're caught shooting them. I would suggest maybe putting the word out on social media, TV, local newspaper, and do that several times before the major holidays. People probably don't know an ordinance exists, so they have no idea they're breaking the law. I recently read an article about why fireworks should be banned, and it weighed the pros and the cons. And some of the pros were they damage property, they create trash, they terrorize pets and some people, they disrupt neighbors with noise, they're bad for the environment. And the cons, well, there were no cons. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak tonight.
Thank you very much, Ms. Myers. We have a gentleman scheduled, but he is not here, Mr. Johnson, so we'll now close the public agenda and open the regular session. We have nothing on the action agenda, so we'll start with the routine agenda, beginning with item 5, in the matter of minutes of April 5, 2022 council meeting.
Second.
We have a motion by Chad Mills, a second from Ms. Jackson. All in favor? That's unanimous, thank you. Item 6, in the matter of bill pay.
So moved.
Okay.
We have a motion by Lynn Brown, second by Travis Beard. Tonight, Chad Mills, Ben Brown, and Travis Beard did the bill paying under the watchful eye of Jennifer Shepard and Johnny Timmons. All in favor? That's unanimous, thank you. Item 7, in the matter of advertising and promotional items, and we do not have any items at this time. We'll go to item 8, in the matter of Tupelo License Commission minutes.
So moved.
Okay.
We have a motion by Lynn Brown, we have a second by Janet, Justin Tanner.
Yes, these are the minutes from the March 22nd Tupelo License Commission. At the meeting, the License Commission elected Mr. Richard Green as the Vice President. There was an appeal of an administrative decision for him to retire that was upheld, and the Commission considered an update to the city's electrical code, which they took no action. Asked that the council approve accept these minutes.
Anyone have any comments or questions for Tanner? We have a motion, a second, all in favor? That's unanimous, thank you. In a matter of review/approve reappointment of Stuart Johnson to the Major Thoroughfare Plan Citizens Lobbying and Oversight Committee.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Janet Gaston, a second by Travis Beard. Tanner?
Yes, Mr. Johnson is a very active member of the Tupelo Major Thoroughfare Committee. He handles a lot of our finance, as far as the financial aspect of the committee. He recently retired from his own bank and just asked that the council approve Mr. Stewart's reappointment representing
Any questions, comments? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Item 10, in the matter of review/approval of demolition/lien resolution.
I move that we would approve the demolition lien resolution.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Nettie Davis, a second by Lynn Bryant. Mr. Newman.
Yes, this is a request for the council to approve a lien on 583 10th Street for an unpaid demolition. I'm just asking you to approve the lien on this property.
Any questions? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. We'll now go to item number 11, in the matter of property for demolition.
Second.
We have a motion by Lynn Bryant, a second by Travis Beard. Mr. Newman.
Yes, we have one property up for demolition tonight, that is 1104 Chapman. This is a property that's been in disrepair for many years. Apartments were with property owners for a couple of years trying to get this house renovated. It's not happening. Owners have flat rate for giving up on the property. Just ask the council to approve the demolition of 1104 Chapman.
Any questions, comments? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Newman. We'll go to item 12, in the matter of bid award for award of bid number 2022-009 PW Airport Road Scrub Seal.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Ms. Janet Gaston, a second by Lynn Bryant. Any response?
Yes, in checking out our roads for our mill and overlay, we have a mill and overlay plant area park. We noticed that we drive out there, the roads are pretty tough shape. So we came up with this solution to help treat this, and also we try this on the section of Holly Hill as an alternate. So we got the recommendation, opened the bids, and the engineer recommended that we accept the bid of Payment Restorations Incorporated for under $13,900.
Any questions for Dennis?
Can you explain if we include the World Holly Hills alternate number one, what does that entail?
Yes, ma'am. So we'll give it a mill, meaning we'll do some removal of the asphalt that's aged. And then come back on with this surface treatment where we spray, it's a polymer-based liquid asphalt, and then drop about a 3/4 inch clean aggregate on it. It's known as a stress relief layer because that road is so broken up and cracked.
Yeah.
And you come back on that with an asphalt overlay. So, and we want to start beginning to implement this with some pavement treatment. So I think this will be a great section test, and I think it will start.
So on Holly Hills, you're doing all of airports, right? But on Holly Hill, how much are you doing on that road?
I'll have to go back and get those numbers for you. I think about half of that.
Okay.
We kind of do side by side comparison here for these results before we take it so far.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions, comments for Dennis? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you, Dennis. Well, stay right where you are. Item number 13, in the matter of bid award for project number T19-515 Eastern Boulevard Improvements, Veterans to Wire Ridge. So moved, we approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Beer, we have a second by Ms. Davis. Dennis.
Yes, sir. We recently opened bids on this. Of course, this has been on the McDermott radar for some time. So we had 5 bidders. Low bidder came back at $4,102,161.63. The engineer's estimate was $4,088,764.80. So then about 1.5% of the engineer's estimate. So really good tight number. So McDermott, their most recent meeting, recommended this to the council meeting.
Do we have any comments?
I just like to thank the Thoroughfare Committee for going ahead and doing this project. I think it's over in the area like White Hills, churches, and that would make an extra addition to improving it in that area.
Also, congratulate the Major Thoroughfare for going through that. That's an important project, and I'm glad to see it get started, and I think we'll improve everything.
Hey, Dennis, how long is this project supposed to last?
Typically last 12 months construction season, so hopefully if we're staying here this time next year, it's probably going to be wrapped up.
Any other comments? All in favor? It's totally unanimous, thank you. Item number 14, in the matter of MTC minutes from the February 14th, 2022 and March 7th, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Travis Beard, second by Ms. Nettie Davis. Dennis?
Yes, sir. You see your copy of minutes there, so pretty much just handling everything, make sure everybody works hard to take care of it, and they haven't answered any specific questions, but haven't been struggling with it.
Any questions about the minutes? All in favor? That's unanimous, thank you. Item number 15, in the matter of approval to remove from assets and auction 3 park and recreation vehicles.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Travis Beard, second by Ms. Jones. Joe?
Yes, sir, this is just a routine item, we'd like to remove these trucks and assets, put them in the auction next month, they're more out there,
Before I get started, that was, Janet, you made the second, I'm tearing this off.
That's okay.
We have any questions for Joe about that? All in favor? That's unanimous, thank you. Item 16, in the matter of bid approval, roadway maintenance program 2022 annual term bid 2022-014 PW.
I move that we would approve this bid.
We have a motion by Ms. Nettie Davis, a second by Travis Beard. Joe?
Yes, sir, this is the bid we put out every year, it's the last contract to help us prep our roads for overlay, do some drainage projects for them. There's 42 items listed there, and Dustin Diver in here, he asked us to approve Hodges with a low bid of $20,513 grand total. There's 3 bidders in the project, and we feel good about this request.
Any questions for Joe? All in favor of this motion? That's unanimous, thank you. Item 17 has been deleted. We'll now go to item 18.
I move that we would, approve the acceptance of, donation deed to sit on Tarver Street and ratification, vacation rights on, way south side of, Ray Street.
I have a motion by Ms. Nettie Davis, a second by Lynn Brown. Ben Logan. Stephen, please. I'm terribly sorry, Stephen.
If the council remembers back in February, we approved a resolution that allowed us to enter into a land swap with Mr. Gary Sparkman out on Culver Street, between Culver Street and Ray Street. I won't go back into all the details of that, but this order accepts the land conveyance from Mr. Sparkman to the city, and also ratifies a partial amendment of the south side of Ray Street.
Any questions for Mr. Reed?
We just had to see us get this, particular, item, clear so that, Mr. Mayfield, who's working on the Elks, Old Elks Club, can, continue to, restore that area. And, I appreciate the city, we would support that because that's going to be, really, help that particular area to be upgraded. That's a street that's kind of gone down, so we need, this to, be able to move forward in the community.
Very good. Any other comments? All in favor of the motion? That's unanimous. We'll now go to item number 19. In the matter of order, authorizing real property exchange on Talbot Street to correct property line.
Move to accept.
We have a motion by Lynn Brown, a second by Travis Beard, I believe. Ben, are you taking a look?
Our students do. On the other side of the street, a little bit to the west, we have, what Ms. Nettie had mentioned, and that is the Mayfield restoration of the old elk slide. In the course of him purchasing that property and developing it, the survey showed that, he owned down the hill into Mill Tree Park. He needed some more access, to that location along Talbot Street, and
and we swapped him the property at the bottom of the hill, or he swapped us that for a little access from the street, and it worked out to be, his property was worth about $10,000 that he was swapping to us. What we were swapping to him was worth about, on the average, $8,600, but he agreed to accept it pays the difference as the exchange, so he can start to complete that project that we're working on.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions, council? All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. We're now going to item 20. In the matter of order authorizing closure of public access from Clark Street to private property near BNSF Railroad, compensating owners for damages by providing access on Jefferson Street and abandoning portion of planted alley to adjoining property owners. We have a motion by Lynn Brown, a second by Ms. Jones. Mr. Logan?
This is we discussed this yesterday. That is in your packet. Missy had turned that in to you. Disregard what I just passed out. We'll cover it in the executive session. But this is the property we added them out. Dennis, sometimes people are clearing that up. We put all the different wheels that are in motion on this block on one map. To the west, you'll see that we'll be closing the entrance from Park Street, just north of the railroad tracks, to Mr. Vance's property. In replacement for that loss of access, we will construct a drive there off of Jefferson Street that turns in there from goes south, kind of on the other side of where Jefferson Place used to be, or I guess right there between Park Place, where Buddy is, and Jefferson Place used to be the restaurant there. While we're in the neighborhood, we felt that we wanted to go ahead and abandon part of that old alley that if it were extended, it would go through part of the church property behind the church across there into the parking lot over there. I think the bank still has some activity there, or at least some financial activities going there. So we would abandon the first 100 feet of that right away. Part of it goes to one of the Dodge companies, and then part of it goes to Mr. Banks. So got all that cleared up, put it on the books.
Thank you, Ben. Any questions for Mr. Logan? Yes.
So the piece of property on Park Street where the entrance is, so that means that we're for sure fixing to do a railroad project right there, or we wouldn't be doing this, correct? Okay, so this is not if the railroad project gets approved, just because it's already been approved and we're fixing to do it, so therefore we're having to clear this land back.
Right. And I don't know if Dennis, are you still here to speak to that?
Very good. Any other? Oh, Dennis, you going? Yes.
Yes, sir. I think Councilman answered your question. That job is made in 11. So we're just about to go and get that job before we come to you soon to ask them to happen.
Okay.
Let's get more started.
Very good question. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Okay. That's unanimous. Thank you. At this time, we'll close the regular session and go. We have no items on the study agenda. At this time, I would entertain a motion to determine the need to go into executive session.
I hope that we will need to go in executive session.
Second.
We have a motion to second. Mr. Logan.
We have two items, should be voted very quickly, discussed both in the executive session before. And they are appropriate items for executive session. It would be the acquisition of rights to real property. I think Mr. Newman, Mr. Bonds, Stephen, Scott, Don, Kim, the Mayor, and Mr. Williams, one of them also.
Thank you. All in favor of that motion? That's unanimous. Now I entertain a motion to go into executive session. We have a motion by Lynn Brown, second by Ms. Gaston. All in favor? Thank y'all very much.